Hi guys, thanks for checking out another one of my cricket review videos. Today I'm having a look at my number one bat today, which is the RSD Elite, which is one of the bats that I was able to pick up in India last year. Now, if anyone that knows about SG bats, they'll know that SG put some stickering down the spine of the bat. Obviously with this one, that's actually missing. If you've had a look at one of my other videos about my the SG Triple Crown, I explained how I shaped out the bottom of the bat, so I needed to take the stickers off. I haven't done that with this bat, but just to have some sort of more consistency through my bats, I have taken off the stickers. I also wasn't over the moon with the actual what the actual stickers look like. And I do like just to have more of a plain back on the back of my bat, so I have taken those stickers off. With the exception to that and a new grip, the bat's in its original. I haven't changed it at all. So it's an RSD Elite, so it's the SG RSD Elite, and so it's the actual rail Dravid inspired bat, and it's not what you would refer to as your traditional Indian type of bat. The current Indian bats are very heavy in the bottom of the bat and towards the toe. This bat isn't that case at all. It's got very much of much more of a well-rounded pickup, and much more of what I'd refer to as a more of an Australian type pickup bat for Australian type pitches. It's also got a bit of a higher middle as well, to allow for players who are playing their shots off the back foot, and it's not predominantly drives the way that you see through the subcontinent. Going through a few of the features of the bat, look, SG don't grade their Willow, so you can't tell you exactly what the grade is. However, it's not the top of the range Willow out of SG. So this one is there is a bat that is a level above this, which is the players grade Willow, and so this is a step down. The other thing about this particular bat as well is it has a number of clearly defined grains, and there's about 11 or 12 of those. But then there's also then a number of undefined grains as well. And as I've explained in one of my other videos, that the actual each grain is actually a length of the lifespan of the tree. And when you have Willow that's being looked after in the best of circumstances, those grains are very even apart. Wherever you get grains that are closer together or spread apart and then some close together, that's when you actually find hardship and Willow that's not top of the line. The other thing you'll also get is you'll get little blemishes as well. So there is a small one here on the actual side of the bat, and the same again. There's a few here on the side of the bat as well. They don't affect the actual performance of the bat, and like I said, this is probably the best bat that I've actually ever had. And so look, those few blemishes don't actually affect the performance of the bat, unless they're actually through the actual playing face, which obviously these ones aren't. Give it a quick hit with the bat mallet just to give you an idea of the ping of the bat. As I said, that's a fairly high middle. Some of the actual other SG bat that I've got, the middle's more around this section, whereas the middle in this one's actually a little bit higher. It also comes with the toe guard. I've needed to refit the toe guard onto this particular bat, as the one that came with the bat had come off. Just to give you a quick look down the bat, you can actually see that it's a fairly big. There is actually a fairly big curve there through the middle of the bat, which is fairly usual through the majority of the modern bats nowadays as well. Look, overall the bat is about £2, close to £2.9. And that's look, I use my bats with the natural face, and so that's even with needing to be oiled fairly regularly to maintain the moisture levels in the bat. The one thing I have found with my SG bats is that, and look, I don't know whether this is something about the look, they're definitely English Willow bats, but I don't know whether or not this is something to do with the actual storage or the actual transport of the English Willow to India. But I have found that my two bats are very thirsty for oil. They do in the preparation to get them ready and to keep them ready, they have been fairly thirsty for oil. Now they say that over-oiling your bat is just as bad as under-oiling your bat. It's about finding that right balance. But what I've found, and look, I've always used a natural face on my bat. I just don't like the feel of Extra Tech, and I've always oiled my bats, and I just don't. I've just noticed that that the SG bats are a little bit more thirsty to actually give them that right ping and that right rebound. So look, I don't know if these are the only 2 SG bats that I've used, and I bought them from the same city at the same time, so we're probably sort of out of the factory at a similar time. So if that's something that other people have found, I'd be keen to know about whether or not that's something that SG bats for comparing to Australian conditions. That would be keen to know. So that's the bat. That's the SG RSD Elite. Like I said, probably the best bat that I've had in the last 10 years. Just a sensational bat for a well balanced pickup and feel overall. If you've got any comments, any direct questions about the SG gear, please feel free to leave me some comments with some questions. Also make sure you check out my other videos with other reviews as well, and one that's you can actually see a full review of what's in my kit bag. Any questions, like I said, let me know. Alright, thanks guys, thanks for tuning in.